Hi, my name is Rebecca Gresby, and this week I'm going to be talking about Chapter 17 from our Media Ethics at Work book. It was titled, Please Don't Use the Video, the Case of the Fatal Accident. And it talks about a case from El Paso, Texas in 2007, I believe, when a 19-year-old girl named Valerie was sitting at a red light early in the morning and a drunk driver hit her from behind and she ended up dying. He was going 60 miles per hour. And so the person that hit her was named Edison Bias. He was a soldier who had just returned from Iraq 10 days earlier. And he had a blood alcohol count of 0.27, which is 3 times the legal limit, and was charged with intoxicated manslaughter. So a year and a half later, at his trial, his lawyer argued that he was suffering from PTSD at the time and was having a a war flashback when he hit Valerie's car, and that's why he was having so many issues, not really harping on the fact that he was drunk. So that's how I feel about that situation. But the people fighting against the prosecutors contended that Bias had an alcohol issue and a history of alcohol abuse, including 2 previous arrests and multiple referrals to the Army Substance Board. So this was an ongoing issue that had been happening for a while with alcohol. And so when the trial was going on, a judge clerk tipped off the news reporters saying that they would be showing the red light camera footage of the accident happening at the trial, and cameras were not allowed in the actual courtroom, but the judge did allow people to have news cameras outside and put them through the windows so that they could get news footage. And so they ended up showing the video, and it showed the really the awful impact of the crash, and it made the jurors gasp when it happened, and Bias wiped tears as it happened. They got all of that on tape. And so after it was shown, they went on lunch break, and when they came back, Valerie's father went up to a group of news reporters and asked them very nicely, calmly, if they would refrain from using the video. And the news reporters basically commented back and said, we understand, we will try not to, but we can't make any promises. It's not ultimately our decision. And it was a civil conversation. He asked them to put themselves in his shoes and the shoes of the family and friends of Valerie, and that it would just be really hard to look at. And so Herrera went back. Herrera is a news reporter from a local station, and he went back to his bosses, and they talked about it and ended up deciding to air the video in its entirety. And they ended up playing it every time they had updates on the story, stating that the father, family, and friends of the victim should not watch the news if they don't want to see it. So they played the video every time they had updates, and showed it in its entirety. They decided that that was okay because there was no gore and everyone else was going to show it anyways. And it turns out that nobody ended up complaining about the video, although Herrera thinks that he made the best decision. But if I were him, I think that I would have stood my ground a little more, because he actually saw how difficult it was for the family and for the father of Valerie. And I think that it was ultimately his responsibility to stand up to the news reporters, because he saw the video firsthand. He saw the impact and the way that it shocked the jurors, and that's something that, even though it does not have blood and gore in it, I don't think it's something that needs to be shared on national television for everyone to see. And I do think that it was Herrera's responsibility to voice that and voice the opinion of the family. I think that this would have been a completely different situation if Valerie's father had been very, very rude about it, or if he was passionate about this not being on the air, and if they knew he was going to put up a fight, it would have been a different situation, because if there was going to be somebody being sued, or if he was going to make a big deal out of it, I think that the situation would have ended a lot differently. But I do not think that that should be the only reason that someone should stand up for Valerie's family and for her, because she didn't deserve for this to happen to her to begin with. And she deserved enough of a fight for her that would have happened if the family was very harsh about, or very difficult about them posting this video online or on the news multiple times. So in the end, he did get charged guilty. I think he got 15 years and had to pay $10,000, but still the harm that happened to their family and friends after watching this on the news is something that could have been avoided. So that was it for this week. So thank you for watching. Bye.